Welcome to the Reseller Island podcast. My name is Jake. I'm here with my co-host Sunny Las Vegas. We, oh, that zoom in though. We are just a couple of resellers. We understand that reselling can be inherently lonely. So we decided to put this podcast together to where people can come hang out on the island, kind of rub shoulders with one another, get advice and motivation from each other, and just help each other along this journey, even though we are all technically competitors, we can still be friendly islanders. Speaking of building a community, Sunny and I, we have the Reseller Island podcast Facebook group, link in the description. And then today we also built a free Discord, the Reseller Island Discord group. So if you guys would like to join both of those groups, we'd really appreciate it. Facebook is a really good place to share finds and get some knowledge. And then on Discord, I personally am much more active on Discord because of other little side hustles that I have that I don't talk about a lot. So if you guys have questions for me specifically, or if you would like to engage with me more, I will be answering significantly more questions and being more engagementful on Discord.
Engagementful.
Engagementful. So yeah, Sonny, what do you think about the groups?
I think the groups are good. Jay Wright brought this up earlier about the Discord, and I thought that was pretty exciting because on social media, there's a lot of people who say doesn't like resellers, right? Some resellers are like nay on eBay, nay on all these other things, and they are pro Amazon. So when you want to find and build an audience, as much of us are building a community, you can't just focus on things that you like. You got to step outside of your comfort zone at times and go to the people and try your best to bring them in and share knowledge with one another. So I was excited about that. And I told them, mention that right away in the beginning, not at the end, because we all know on our end as content creators, not a lot of people stick around to the end and at one time because they're busy. They'll come back later, watch bits and pieces of it, listen to it. So I'm excited for it. So make sure to follow it. Jay Wright also ended up putting the Discord information in the community tab, but it'll be down in the description.
Yep, it'll be in the description, also the community tab, and then also we posted it on the Facebook page as well. If you'd like to follow us on all three platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Discord, that would be awesome. I remember when I did Vine in high school, that like 6-second looping app.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, I got a few 100,000 followers, and then I went on my Mormon mission, and I came back, and Vine was dead. But I still kept a few contacts. And I remember when I came back from my mission, I wasn't interested in doing social media and stuff like that. But here I am on YouTube and TikTok now. I knew it would always come back and grab me. But I remember talking to a contact, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have like 250,000 followers across different platforms." And I'm like, "Oh, so you have like 75,000 followers?" And he's like, "No, dude. Like you'd be surprised. Like some people only follow me on Facebook and they just like consume all of their media on Facebook. There's some people that only follow me on Instagram, and there's some people that only follow me here on YouTube. And so like you guys can consume the content however you'd like. If you're a Discorder, if you're a Facebooker, if you're a YouTuber, you guys can just contact us and hang out with us anywhere. But if you'd like to join on all three, that is the best way to build a community.
I follow. The only time I started to get on Discord, this was when I think a year ago now, when Trash to Cash came over, I think last April, for their second event, and they started their Discord. So I followed them, and then Ginger Marv, Kathy, and Chris. But that's been the only time. But what I'm going to focus on Discord right now because it's still fairly new to me. What can you post on there?
Yeah, so Discord. So like the Facebook page is a really good place to post your best finds and to ask questions and things like that. What's cool about Discord, and on Facebook it's just like one feed, all of it mashed together. What's cool on Discord is you can have different rooms, and so one room will be labeled just general discussion, talk about whatever you want, mess around in there, have serious conversations, whatever you guys want to do. Then there can be a separate room called questions for Jake and Sunny, or questions for Jake specifically, questions for Sunny specifically. Then there can be a room post your finds. I already named that the brag board, where you can post your awesome yard sale finds or your awesome eBay sales. Then we'll have another room where it will be your eBay store promotion. If you guys would like to put your eBay links right there, and then we can all, whenever we need to buy something on the internet, we can support each other and buy from each other instead of just buying from a random person on eBay. So what's cool about Discord is you can just have all of these separate rooms where you can, actually get the engagement and the conversations going that you want to. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
that's what I like about Discord.
Yeah, it sounds like you could have sub forums for the main account, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's pretty sweet. So yeah, if you guys would like to join the Discord or the Facebook or keep following us here on YouTube, it is free across the board. We don't charge for our information. So yeah, good stuff there. But yeah, Sonny and I, we just kind of want to talk about our week. We've both been super busy doing things to increase our livelihood in this reselling world, and we're just going to kind of talk about some of our projects, some of the things we're focusing on, and I think that it's something that can spark ideas or motivation in you guys, and we can make some money in this reseller world. So what do you got going on, Sonny?
Well, I'm at the point where I've been talking about it long enough to where I am now organized to where I could get out and breathe again and go sourcing. So this week I've been really itching to go get out and go thrifting, but I'm waiting for 4 p.m. today. Today's Friday for us. This will be out on Monday. That's when Broad Acres opens, but also the yard sales. The only reason I haven't been thrifting is because my mother-in-law is back from the Philippines. So that's, welcoming her back. Although she is not, new to us, it's still like, how are you out there talking stories and things like that. But I was able to have some fun this morning before going meeting up with you on here. And meeting up within the first probably around 30 minutes of a yard sale from a friend, there were two people that recognized you and I from the podcast. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was so funny because I had my hair tied up, and that's like kind of my incognito mask that is so simple. And it wasn't until Caesar mentioned, hey, welcome to my yard sale. There's all this. And plus we have sunny Las Vegas. And one of the guys was like, I know you and I know Jay right now. I was like, oh, he must watch podcasts. And sure enough, he said it. I think it was Leon that mentioned that. So Leon is originally from New Zealand, who moved over to Arizona, who is here visiting for a moment, back and forth. So I got to talk stories with them. So that was pretty cool. And I'm really excited about getting back out into the community and sourcing and finding some good stuff and sharing some posts of what I'm finding in Discord and on Facebook, because I haven't been doing that too much because of being organized. But now, like I said, I'm at the point where I get to go unleash again, but stay organized and stay focused on the things that I find and get them listed right away.
So you're sourcing, what would you say is like the percentage of items you source from yard sales, estate sales, thrift stores? What would you put as your breakdown for your inventory?
Glass.
No, but I mean, like,
a
do you get
variety
like,
of glass.
I'm
from
asking, like,
vases.
do you get like 50% of your items from yard sales and 20% from thrift? That's what I'm asking. Like, what?
Oh, okay. I would say as of recently, because I haven't been sourcing too much, other than 2 weeks ago, I went to some community yard sales. I would say it was mainly glass. So it was like 75% glass, and then it wasn't very much. So it's not a really big number of like, I maybe had 12 items.
Yeah.
But some of it was hats. I had a Vikings vintage hat that sold. I got it for $1.50. It sold for $40 within 3 minutes or 5 minutes. And then the pants I just listed because I was trying to remove a stain out of some vintage Levi's silver tab jeans, which everybody should be mindful of Levi's silver tabs because they've made new modern ones that they're putting out. Mostly what I've seen like in Burlington. So don't think just because you see silver tab baggy that they're vintage. Make sure you're aware of that and don't screw yourself over. It's not a huge mistake, but it's a simple mistake.
Yeah. And let's say like you source 100 items. How many of those 100 come from thrift stores? How many come from garage sales? How many come from storage units or whatever you're doing?
I think if I was to get 100 items, it would most likely be at the flea market.
Okay.
Because so I just get much cheaper prices in bulk from when I'm buying something. It's usually not 1 or 2 items. And that's one thing I've learned about the flea market too, is that the vendors recognize me and will say, I'm holding this for you, and send me text messages. And I'll say, hold on till the weekend, because that's when they do open if it's
Yeah.
a weekday. So that's open out. But you just reminded me of the estate sales I talked about before, and a connection through them. I was just asked if I would run an estate sale, because the person that runs it, Sissy, is out of town, and said if I would do it, she'd give me all her business info, that I would be under her. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I would want to do that. But my wife said, why not? It'll be something new. And I was like, yeah, I guess the experience would work out. So I don't know if I'm going to pull that trigger, but that would be cool.
Yeah, still contemplating it for sure. Yeah, so I didn't know that you get the majority of your items from the flea market. I thought you did, pretty regular thrifting and things like that. I know you do, but it sounds like you get the majority of your stuff from flea markets then.
Yeah. But it's going to change this year now that I'm organized. Ladies and gents, there is such a big difference when you are organized and on top of your items, rather than letting it get cluttered. I now have a peace of mind to breathe and stretch my arms out and not have to like lunge over items of money piles sitting around. I don't have to do that anymore, and it feels so good. So I'm excited to start ramping up my YouTube videos, my thrifting videos, and more of my daily vlogs, and just have more time to myself, which I've had a lot more of here in the last, I would say, week.
Nice. So how big is your store now, and do you have a store size goal or revenue goal, or what do you
like my eBay stores?
Yeah.
So I have 2 eBay stores.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I share is at 162 items now.
Mm-hmm.
But with all the items that I have, I'm pushing a lot more of it on knickknacks. I've had 2 auctions lately. I had a build a box sale, which is good for just like a filler box and stuff you're okay of letting go for like a lower price than listing all the time to get like $5 out of. So that's helped me clear out some things and make money at the same time. And then just 2 days ago, I had a jewelry sale, and I've already sold 4 auctions. Out of 4 auctions, I probably made now over $1,000. And this last one was an hour long, and I made cashed out at $305 within less than an hour. So I'm going to have more of them and more glassos coming up soon. Tomorrow, Saturday, I actually have another glasso on knickknacks. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, 2 days ago, Saturday, because this goes live on Monday. Yeah. Well, sweet. Yeah, my store is going through some changes. So currently I have just under 1,700 items on eBay. I have 1,689. At one point I had 3,000. I built my store all the way up to 3,000. And that's when I started to cross-list on Poshmark and Mercari. And cross-listing and stuff has gone so well that I got my store and I liquidated a few hundred items, and I got my store all the way down to 1,500. Now that I've been below standard for like 45 days now, my listings are starting to trickle up again to that 1,689. My plan is, so I have a draft bank of over 200 items now, which is awesome. And I'm just going to list 25 items a day, every single day of the year, holidays, everything. If I break my leg, still getting them up. And yeah, the plan is to just list 25 items a day, every single day. I talked about this a little bit in my last video, but right now my sell-through rate, being below standard, but with cross-listing across multiple platforms, is about 70%. But once I'm out of below standard, I think that my sell-through rate will be 120%. So I'll be listing 25 per day and probably selling about 28 or 30 per day. And I think my store will level off around 2,000 is what I'm predicting will happen. I think that's a great store size. 2,000. Selling 25 to 30 every single day, pumping it out.
That's a pretty good size. And I think that's pretty freaking amazing, because that says a lot about how much work you're putting into it. That is not an easy thing to do, to get a 2,000 when you are so focused on high sell-through rates for it to be at 2,000. So that's inventory going in and coming out probably just as fast or faster than what you're listing it as. So that's a pretty good momentum. And that's one thing I've been working out on. But is there a reason why you want 2,000 items?
No, I don't want 2,000. That's just what the math does. So if I'm listing 25 every single day and I'm selling like 120% sell through rate, 130, then so at 1,700 listing 25 a day in below standard, I'm definitely going to keep ballooning up because I only have a 70% sell through rate right now. So for every 25 I list at a 70% sell through rate, that's like probably 17 sales. So I'll be growing by 8 per day. So I'll just be growing by 8, by 6. On a slow day, I'll grow by 13, grow by 7, grow by 11. And I'll just keep growing and growing and growing. And then I'll probably like start to stall at around 2,200. And then once I get back to above standard, then I think I'll start crawling back down to 2,000. I'll be back to above standard in 45 days ish. So if I grow by 8 items per day, that'll be 360. Oh, so I'll probably just barely get above 2,000. And then I'll just like kind of fluctuate around that is what I'm predicting will happen.
Maybe you'll say I'm wrong about this, but I'm going to assume based off of what I keep up with you with, of what you look and sell, not very much of your items are one listing of quantity. It's all usually individual items.
Oh yeah. If we go off of my items that have multiple quantities, because I have a few multi-quantities with basketball cards and stuff, then I have 1,906. Because I have 2 listings that I sell like basketball mystery packs. Right. It has a few of already opened cards, and I just send like 5 rookies, 5 upgraded cards. They're called prisms or parallels. And then I also send 1 card that has either a signature or a part of their jersey embedded into the card. And I have 2 separate listings with 100 quantity each. And then every time I sell 15, I just put it back up to 100 because I have thousands and thousands of basketball cards that I can keep pumping into them. So yeah, that's how I have.
The reason why I asked that because I wanted to let people know. I wasn't sure what the answer was. It was really a legit question, but I wanted to let people know that it's not all like one item with the quantity of the same thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's different because you still have to piece together the cards, mystery pack of some sort. But
it's on Amazon that I'm selling on, I have 800 active items, but only 48 listings because I have 40 of one item quantity, 32 of another, 16 of another.
Well, that's what Amazon completely different than eBay because you do want wholesale items in bulk. That makes it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about Amazon, but I know that much.
Yep. So on eBay, I have just under 1,700 listings with a couple multi-quantities that so I have 1,900 items for sale, which is good. I'm really liking it. And then once I move to northern Utah, I don't know. I think when I move to northern Utah, I'm going to hire 1 full-time employee every 6 months, and then I'll probably end up getting to like, I don't know. It just depends on where things are gonna go. Because a big part of my business is going to be reselling on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Amazon. But I may stumble into some things that just I'm able to get 15,000 products to put on Amazon, and then so I might have more employees for Amazon than I do for eBay. Things I don't know. We're just gonna see what happens. But I think I'll have about 5,000 active items on eBay 3 years from now when I'm established and up north.
And that's a lot of work, but that's exciting. That's what you want to do, though, if you want to upscale, is start hiring people. And I get that a lot of advice from people I'd follow, and it's like I don't want to hire anybody because I don't want to get that big. Of course, I want to make as much money as I can.
Yeah.
But I like the simpler side of reselling for me. Mm-hmm. Not to say that it's hard, but I just don't want to step up to that level. But you never know. Something might change in the future. and an opportunity comes up, and I'm like, this is a lot easier than what I was thinking it was. So possibilities are endless.
Yep, they sure are. Yep. No, yeah. There's just a ton of different ways to scale, a ton of different ways to make money, and that's my main plan right now, is to just, you know, just keep selling a ton of stuff on eBay, and I'm selling way. I'm making. I don't know. Amazon is hard. Amazon's a lot harder. You have to get ungated, and the margins aren't as good. I say the margins aren't as good because usually you have to pay like $6 to buy something that's going to sell for like $18.99 free shipping. So you only make back like $3.50 sometimes. And I wouldn't do that on eBay. It's not a sustainable model in my opinion. But these, for example, for those of you that follow me on Facebook, the J Ride Flips Facebook page, these are just some Pair of Thieves underwear. I got 22 boxes of them for $5 each at Walmart, and these sell for $37 on Amazon.
What brand is that?
Pair of Thieves. So yeah, so like these profit margins are gonna be great. Like my profit margin on these are gonna be like around 70%, like it is on, not 70, but probably like 65%, like it is on eBay. But the average item that I'm getting on Amazon, I'm putting on Amazon, I'm buying for like $4.80 and then selling for $17 free shipping. And so my margin, you do more revenue on Amazon, but you get a lower profit margin as well.
Did you find it off of that app that you've been using?
Yeah. Well, so Deal Soldier, the app that you're talking about, Deal Soldier got me into that Walmart where I got a ton of other things. And then while I was in Walmart, I always check what I call hot zones. So like Walmart has like a specific clearance rack in most towns in the back, and that's not where you're going to find really profitable items. But within each department of Walmart, they usually have a small clearance rack for that department. And so in the men's clothing, there's a little place where they like to put a lot of socks and underwear. So I went there, and boom, there they all were.
Boomski. The only time I go to clearances is usually like, which I don't go to retail stores too often, would be like TJ Maxx.
Yep.
I only go to that clearance because it's usually by the Funko Pops, at least the one that I go to. And I'm going to look at Funko Pops anyways. Not that I've bought any in a while. And one of the guys that recognized us today was, there was a second one. So I mentioned Leon. There was another guy, Eric. Shout out to him. He's from California, who comes down here as well. He has a thrift store. I did not get the name, but I got both of their Instagrams to keep up with them. So it was pretty cool how he finds stuff, thrift store, gets it here, takes it over there and resell. So it was just unique. I want to throw their names in there because part of the podcast is to reach out to people, and you never know how that works or who's from where. So that's just something I wanted to mention. That was pretty exciting for somebody to bring us both up, even just as an individual. It's just freaking awesome. I get excited about this stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I remember the first time I got recognized in public. I was 17 and I was on Vine, and I just went to Las Vegas and I was walking the strip, and then this girl walked past me and she's like, "Do I know you?" I'm like, "I don't think so." And she's like, "Do you do like YouTube videos?" I'm like, "I'm on Vine." And she's like, "Oh, Jake Ryder?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." She's like, "Oh my gosh." That was the first time that ever happened to me. It was pretty cool.
I'm glad you mentioned that to remind me again. So it was probably 3 weeks ago, Gary Vee on TikTok, which I'm sure it's on other platforms, but he mentioned that he is going to invest, if I heard right, he's going to invest in Vine to come back up again, because there's this stuff going on with TikTok and things like that, and don't put all your ducks in a row like we talked about before. So he sees a much bigger business in Vine, and if it's not already up and to do it. I remember when I started on Vine, I was more of the Lemur guy. If anybody was able to catch, Lemur was another app just like Vine. It didn't last very long, but interesting story about that. So JC, who has grown tremendously reselling sneakers here in Las Vegas, started out at one of the malls, the one off of Maryland and Sands, whatever mall that is. I used to go there because of Goodwill, but one of my wife's, this is going to be a long story. One of my wife's ex-boyfriend was like, hey, let's go check out this store. I think you'll like it. Because it was streetwear. I was into streetwear and photography and like Powwow, Hawaii. I just moved here from Hawaii. So that was like my world at the time. And the sneakers was one thing I was trying to learn about. Still haven't. But he was there himself. And I still have a t-shirt from him. And he was saying like, yeah, I'm just trying to get people in here. He's very humble, approachable. And I said, have you heard about like Vine and Lemur? This guy went on Vine, and within like 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, within 5 days, he was already gaining like 200,000 followers, and people were all over him. So it's just kind of cool where these things in life can disappear for a moment, or appear, disappear, come back, and be even more relevant than before because somebody just sparks an idea. Same thing as in reselling. You're like, it's not for me this one time, and I gave up on it, but it's that it's just still there, and you want to come back to it, and then you do, because it's so much easier reselling than applying for a job that may take weeks to months and even longer, and having you struggle to bring in an income, which is why I love reselling. It's so much easier, and you don't need a lot of things other than the willpower to just figure it out using your smartphone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good old Vine. Vine never like truly disappeared or went under. Twitter just bought them out. So Twitter, and now it's called X. So Vine is owned by X, which is owned by Elon Musk, and they just have all that software and infrastructure just tucked away. And Elon has been teasing for a while now that he's going to bring Vine back, especially if TikTok ends up going under. That would be a perfect gateway to just throw Vine out there. So if Vine will pay the same way that TikTok does for 6-second videos, game over, man. That's gonna be some good money. But knowing Elon, I think that they would be able to monetize Vine almost immediately, which would be awesome for creators like us. But just rolling with everything. But yeah, Vine would be fun. We'll see what happens if it comes back.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like a lot of speculation because Elon, like a month ago, he just tweeted Vine ? And then everyone like was freaking out over it and stuff. And then Gary Vee's like, oh yeah, no, if that's coming, like, the good old Gary Vee banter. So yeah, I'll be there. If Vine spouts back up, I'll be there for sure.
Yeah, ladies and gents, and once it does, be all over it. If you're a content creator, want to be sharing that stuff, be all over it. It's best to start when it pops off, not like me months later, when a year or two later after TikTok kicked off. A lot of my friends were get on it, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. Same thing with Whatnot. I don't know it. It's new to me. I don't want to get into it. And it's like I should have got into it from the beginning. Be one of the OGs, or this time a second generation OG on Vine when it comes back.
Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, reselling. I don't know, man. We have this awesome opportunity to resell. So back to the question I asked you earlier about what your breakdown of how you get your items. Last year, probably 90% of my items came from thrift stores. This year it's very different. So last year, yard sales were just like, I don't know. I went to a few. So like there were Saturdays last year where I just like wouldn't even go yard selling because it wasn't like I didn't deem it as profitable as the thrift stores, and that's because you go to one or two and you're like, oh, these are okay, but it's not as profitable as the thrift store, so I'm just gonna keep going to the thrift store. And that's a trap that a lot of people do with retail arbitrage or with thrifting or with any job or side hustle. They try it for like maybe 18 minutes one day and then another 20 minutes another day, and they're like, oh, this sucks. This isn't for me. But I've definitely recognized like how valuable yard sales are. So right now, I'd actually say that only 33% of my items come from thrift stores. Another 33% comes from yard sales. And then another 25% comes from buying things off of eBay and then selling them back on eBay. That's become a huge part of my business. I have all of these glasses. I probably did that a little too fast, but all of those glasses are just from eBay. And then there's 3 more boxes of glasses over there that I haven't gotten to. And then that equals 90%, and then the other 10% comes from Walmart and Home Depot and TJ Maxx and stuff like that.
Home Depot?
Oh yeah, Home Depot's really good. I just got a ton of Kohler air filters for a penny each that, sell for a good $14 each, so that'll be good.
One that I rarely get into, but the only times that I do is when my wife goes over to this makeup place,
Ulta.
Ulta. When she goes, the only thing I look at is their clearance because they usually have
Yep.
every now and then marked down prices off their curlers of Chi, which I love their shampoo and conditioner. People often ask me what I use for that. It's that brand Chi. So she's paid for these curlers for like 15, $20, and I was selling for like $80,
Yep.
even like a year from then because she doesn't use them. She has several other ones that are her favorites. So that works out for me. So I have zero investments in them other than her paying for it.
I mean, I go to TJ Maxx and Ross, and I'll buy curling irons for $25 or $30 that sell for $90 on Amazon. So that's
I've seen a few of your your video. I see a lot of your videos, first of all, but one of them was like this flat iron, not curler because it is a flat iron, and it was like rubbed off on the inside, and you're like, yeah, this is up for like 20, 25. And I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing at the comments, and they're like, nobody's gonna buy that crusty, that crusty thing. And it was like, sure enough, boom, it's sold. So
yep, and then you just you clean it and you put it on eBay and people buy it. Wild.
Yeah.
Wild stuff.
It's just
like
funny.
This.
It just I feel like those people's are it was similar to that.
This was super, just had like a ton of gunk and like almost tar looking stuff, and now it's just, clean as a whistle. The plates look good. I don't recommend buying a ton of Remington, but they're not worth anything until they are. This anti-frizz therapy one's worth like $25. Got it for $3. So, but yeah, Conair and Remington usually aren't the grab. And again, back to like nuance from last episode, like I never buy Conair and Remington until I do. You just got to look things up and recognize.
Never say never.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, dude, I don't know. There's just a ton of ways to make money everywhere. So tomorrow, sometime this weekend, or today. Okay, I'm gonna stop speaking in this weird weird fourth dimension of podcast recording. So today, Friday, sometime after today, I just recorded a video of where I went to like a smaller town. It's called Cedar City. It has like 35,000 people in it. And I just went to 3 thrift stores, a Ross, a TJ Maxx, a Walmart, a Home Depot. Spoiler alert, I made more than $1,000. And so yeah, I have a video coming out about that. There's just money everywhere. There really is. We just got to go out and find it.
Yeah, I think it was Eric, who I mentioned earlier, who has a thrift store and was there at the yard sale that watches us. Proud to say that, super proud of it. But I lost my thought because I was so excited.
TJ Maxx, Home Depot.
I completely forgot. Like I was super stoked that people were just recognize the podcast. Damn it.
Posting a video, making a ton of money. It's everywhere. Nothing.
I forget. My apologies.
No worries. But yeah, so my DMs and messages are flooded with retail arbitrage questions now. So I'll be posting a few retail arbitrage videos on TikTok and on my other channel, J-Ride Picks. I'll be doing live sourcing and things like that as well. But yeah, retail arbitrage is just like going to thrift stores. You just got to learn it. The first time you go, you probably will strike out, or you'll spend 4 hours and you'll buy like 1 or 2 items. And I actually say this in the video. Like, you can't just do something for 15 minutes twice and then be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a scam. That guy on the internet is just doing it for views or whatever. Like, it's just like anything. I say in the video, go to Ross for 3 hours and do that 4 times, and then you'll start making money from Ross. You might just get ultra lucky and make a couple $100 the first time you step foot into a Ross, but it's probably not going to happen. You got to stick with things, learn how to use softwares or applications, learn what's trending, learn about the clearance sections, when things go on clearance, when they get truck shipments. Like if you
Talk
want to
to
be
the
good,
employees, ask
yep.
that.
Yeah, if you want to get good at something, you got to get good at it. Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's what a lot of people are asking me. How do I get into retail arbitrage? And I just say, well, listen, like, um, just watch videos on YouTube and then go into these stores and just get good at it.
Do you, so you're, I don't do too much retail arbitrage, but
Uh-huh.
is everything that you're finding in clearance, or are you finding things at regular tag that are still profitable?
Yeah, no. So a lot of so some things I buy. So for example, this is funny. There's these gay pride birds at Target right now. And they sell for $4 at Target and they're reselling on eBay for like $45. And those aren't on discount, they're not clearance, that's just the price of them. So you can go in and buy those at full price, flip them on eBay. I buy a ton of Prime hydration bottles for $1.89, not on discount, and I sell them for like 15. I do the same thing with a ton of stuff. So a lot of stuff is pure arbitrage. You buy it at full price and you sell it for a premium online because some people can't get it in their areas or they don't want to drive their car and they're just willing to pay the premium to have it sent to them. Then another big portion is me finding things that are on clearance and that creates the profit. And then I buy them and I sell them online for the retail price or as close to the retail price as the market is willing to pay for it. Yeah. So there's a ton, there's just, and again, like just a ton of nuance to it. You just got to get good at it. And usually the profit margins are slimmer, so you have to be even better at it. It's not this go into a thrift store, buy a remote for $2 that sells for 25. It's usually go into TJ Maxx, find a makeup product that is on clearance for $6 that sells for 17 shipped, and you make like $3.50, but you're able to buy 94 of them at the same time. Things like that.
It's a good something that comes to mind is that when I started reselling, I felt like a lot what the word reseller meant was finding used items, thrift stores, stuff like that. But as I've learned throughout this and hearing you talk now all these years, coming up to this point, I'm like, wait, a reseller isn't just thrifting used stuff out there. It's new stuff. It's just reselling in general. Because that's all I knew at the time was reselling, watching people find used items and flipping it. So
Well, so if you do some YouTube research on keywords and analytics, the number one thing that comes up for resellers is not even in our niche whatsoever. The number one thing for resellers is teenage guys and young college guys that buy fake AirPods from China and then resell them. So the number one search term for reseller is iPod reseller. Then the next one after that is retail arbitrage reseller. And then after that one, it's like actual used and then the next one on that after that is eBay drop shipping reseller and Amazon FBM reseller. And then like after like 7 or 8 categories, then it's finally what we all do. So that's why like a pretty decent video within our niche that isn't like picking, it isn't going to yard sales or thrift stores or anything like that. Those videos can pop off for millions and hundreds of thousands all the time. It's not super common, but it does happen. But for like an instructional video on how to resell on eBay, there aren't many of those that get above 200,000 views. And that's because no one like there's not a lot of people that really do what we do. Like our community compared to other side hustles and communities on the internet is very small. Like it was much bigger during the pandemic because more people had more time and they lost their job and they want to do a side hustle. And so some of the YouTubers that are still going today, their views are down considerably. And it's not because they suck at YouTube or because people hate them and lost interest in them. It's just because like significantly less people are reselling on eBay. And so that's why, your Harry Tornadoes and your daily refinements and stuff, they're getting significantly less views because there's not nearly as many people reselling on eBay.
less views. Harry Tornado and that other guy was Daily Refinement.
Uh-huh.
I don't feel bad about that because they make a killing reselling. You know what I mean? Like I get there's that standard that they have, but they make a killing reselling. And that was the
Yeah.
whole point of marketing yourself, reselling your items. So
Yeah, no,
doesn't
like
pertain to me of Terry, but
it's nothing to be hard on yourself for or insecure about. There's just
yeah,
like less people like looking on, how, like, so if I do, so beginners are always the biggest pool. So like when I do a beginner's guide to something, it usually gets anywhere from 50,000 to 200,000 views. If I do a very niched question within eBay reselling, how to ship like how to ship on eBay for beginners, that will still get like 30, 40,000. But then if I go even narrower than that, I'll be like, you know, this is the best strategy for promoted listings on eBay. That thing will be lucky to get 8,000. Not because like, it's just because significantly less people are interested in that content. So it's, yeah, some people get like really in their head about views, about things, and some people like try to like attack me like, oh bro, your views are down, you were getting like 40,000 views like 2 months ago, and now you're only getting like 8 or 12,000. It's like, oh yeah, it's just, those are just the videos that I'm making right now. If I do another guide, then yeah, I'll probably get like 80,000 views again. But I'm doing other things, and I have a couple more guides like coming out eventually. But I'm not super consumed on views. It's all just relative. Views pay money, so yeah, that's really good.
they do.
Yeah, but
But
like,
it's also the watch time hours, which is something I realized the last 2 days, because I do pay attention more to analytics now
yeah,
that I've learned more about it and want to understand how to make a, not so much just get more views, but understand more of how to be, I guess, a better teacher, and also express myself to get the words out right, which is always a struggle for me. But all right, on my main channel of thrifting, 14,000 plus viewers, Sunny Loves Vegas, compared to my vlog channel. Just the other day, I had a 3 days ago now, uh, channel got, or this video got maybe 750 views right now. I made $18 off of that.
yeah,
One of my lowest viewing ones in months, right? And I haven't been on there very long, like 84, 85, 86 days now. But if I go to my thrifting channel and say I get 10,000 views, I'm not getting very much off of that. Like, it's good and I'm getting a lot of people to watch it, but that's not something that happens to me regularly. Maybe because the algorithm sees me, I'm not as active as I was before, which I'm going to get to, like I mentioned
yeah,
earlier. But less doesn't always mean less. Sometimes those 700 people, majority of them are going to watch from beginning to end, and
yeah,
it goes on them. But it's something that's always there. It's not something like, oh, Jay Wright had this thing last week and you only got 20,000 views compared to say 50, right?
hmm,
Just for an example. That doesn't mean next month or next year is going to kick off even more. Fresh eyes. It may be owed to that person, but it's not owed to a new eyes that come in and capture it and it helps them out. So evergreen videos are good too, to throw that
yeah,
in there. Scott Chachinking,
yeah.
very good, informative, evergreen teaching videos of reselling.
Yeah, no, Chachin King is a very good example of that too. When he makes beginner videos on a very broad topic, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. If he does a very specific question that's not broad enough, it's like 2,000 to 15,000. That's just how it goes. But Sonny, you ready to put your thick skin on? I'm
My thick
going to.
skin now? Yeah. Go
Yep,
ahead.
yep. Okay, so I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna use you as a specific example, and then some other people's specific examples to illustrate a point. So you said you have 14,000 followers. I mean subscribers, and you've been on YouTube for like 7 years.
6 years, 2, 3 months, 4 months.
Ready for this? Ready for this?
Yeah.
Probably 8 or 9,000 of those followers are what are called ghost followers.
Yeah.
They were people that were interested in reselling 6 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago, and they're not interested in that content anymore whatsoever. And they may come back to it later, or they may never come back to it ever again. But like, true active subscribers you have right now is probably around 5,000. It could be more than that, or it could be even less than
A
that.
lot less. Yeah.
the Daily Refinement, for example, he has, I think he has like 160,000 subscribers, and probably over 100, like somewhere around 100,000 of those are probably ghost subscribers now. People that, you know, tried out the eBay thing and they just like got washed out really quick, and they just don't care about, you know, eBay reselling anymore. Same with Kevin, like 65,000 on his Flipper channel. You know, maybe 20, 25, maybe even 45,000 of those followers are ghost. They're not interested in that content whatsoever anymore. Same as me. I've only been doing YouTube for just over a year. I have 40,000 subscribers, and probably only 15,000 of them are live. The other 25,000 are just ghosts. They don't care about reselling content anymore. And of course, some of those 25,000, that's a completely made up number, anecdote, just, you know, but like Kevin says it all the time on his channel, like a lot of the people that follow his flipping channel aren't even flippers. They just like him or his family or think he's entertaining, so they watch, even though they're not really interested in that content. I watched religiously this guy named Pac-Man. He's a guy around my age that he just buys basketball cards and he opens them. And I would watch like 15 hours of his content every week. And I hadn't watched 1 hour of his content in over 8 months because I'm just not interested in that content. I'm still subscribed to him, but I'm one of his ghost subscribers. So like when you post a video, when I post a video and I only get like 7 or 8,000 views, I'm not stressed about it, because the majority of people that try a side hustle are gone in 30 days, sometimes 7, sometimes not. Sometimes they stick around for 3 months or 6 months, and then they still just like, oh, I'm done with this eBay thing. So like subscribers can be a pretty falsified number sometimes that people pay way too much attention to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And although I have thin skin and not thick skin, that was very true. And I have no problem of hearing what people say, especially when there's things I can learn from it. So I've learned a lot as a reseller, and some stuff that I've gone through being a reseller, of not taking things personal,
Yeah.
whether they don't like you or not. I just take it as, what can I take from what they said and apply it to help me be better? And that's what a lot of people end up, I think, misleading themselves to. Oh, Jay Wright said this about Sonny, and I don't like Jay Wright. I'm taking it for something better than what people may take it, and it's different. But emotions is one thing we've talked about a lot about me, is that I'm like an emotional seller because I'm a very personal, emotional person. But at the same time, I do have thick skin of bring it, you know, like if
Yeah.
it's to help me and to tell the truth, whether it's your opinion truth or whatever, like it doesn't matter. Like I take it with a grain of salt, and
Yeah.
I welcome it. Actually, I don't hide from anything. Just try to take it in and let me learn from this, because it's very true. My main thrifting channel, 6 years of it, transitioned to, I try to do a vlog. I try to get into fitness, my workout videos, from graphic designing, 2D animation, illustration, to reselling. So there's been a flow of things and change, even as a reseller, from 100% at the time for 4 years until I went full time, was all thrift stores. 100% of what I did was just Goodwill and Savers, maybe Salvation Army every now and then, but it was just thrift stores. But when I became a full time reseller, that's when I started hitting up the flea markets and every now and then community yard sales, which now that I have the free time, I am going to be jumping into a lot more. So there's always this stepping stones of why I'm doing stuff and didn't. So it makes a
And
lot of sense.
the same thing happens on like reselling platforms. Like some people will buy something off of eBay, and then they'll come back and they'll buy like 6 more things off of eBay over the next year. And then they just like kind of stop using eBay for 4 years. And then for some reason they're like, oh, I want this product, and they search it and they can't find it anywhere. And then they like find it on eBay, and then they're like, oh yeah, eBay's still a thing. Oh, I can get a discount on a few of the things that I was looking for. Let me look into this eBay thing again. And then they're like kind of back into the eBay ecosystem for a while, and then it's eBay's job to keep them in there, or they eventually like cycle their way out again. So same with YouTube, same with eBay. Some people like will shop at Target aggressively, and then they'll be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Walmart. It's just 30% cheaper. Like I don't know why I'm spending more at Target. Let's just go to Walmart. And then after 6 months, they're like, you know what? I just like Target better, and I think their products are like a little bit higher tier. So I'm gonna go back to Target. And then they're like, oh, well, I have kids now. I'm going to buy everything in bulk. I'm going to be a Costco. There's just so many different cycles and stuff. So it's like, there's people who watched me religiously 6 months ago who haven't seen any of my last 15 videos. It's just the way it is. It's fine.
Oh, just reminded me of something else. For those that are watching and made it up this far, thank you very much. I want to ask you all if you could drop down your 2 cents in the comments of how long you've been reselling. What do you like to resell? And if you haven't started yet, but interested in reselling, what's holding you back?
Nice. And hey, I think we could run a little experiment here. We're 50 minutes in. I think this will be like our shortest episode ever if we stopped here. I say let's see if the audience likes this shorter episode a little bit more. Let's see if the YouTube algorithm pushes it a little more, and see if they push it a little less. I don't know. I think it was a good discussion. I had a good time. If you guys want to join the Discord and the Facebook and keep supporting us here on YouTube, that'd be much appreciated.
Much appreciated.
Sometime this week, I will get Apple and Spotify set up so you guys can just listen to it on audio. A lot of people are asking for that as well. So
yeah, yeah, they are.
Yeah, so every side project, no matter how small you think it's going to be, always ends up being pretty big. So also account for that if you guys are, thinking about doing some retail arbitrage, thinking about doing some Uber Eats, thinking about developing a product and selling it on Instagram and Shopify. It takes time. So, but yeah, guys, Sonny, you got anything else to say?
Nah, double tapping, triple tapping what you said. Follow us on Discord. Share posts, you're fine. Same thing on Facebook as well. And also drop down your comments here under YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to everything that we share with you. We're just trying to share some good info. Hopefully, help your day makes it go by faster with some good information, background noise, and some things to laugh at, and maybe even scratch your head like, "What the hell did Sonny just say?" I wonder what he was thinking, but forgot what he was thinking about.
This is the first monetized video, and you swore, so now we're gonna get demonetized right out the gate. Nah, I'm just kidding. I think that word isn't on the list. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys coming out.